Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burma Nation. This is your favorite math teacher this year that you have, since I'm the only math teacher that you have this year. Here's what's going to be taking place. You're going to be taking notes here on lesson 2.2. This is all about solving one-step equations. We've done this stuff before, and the ideas that are written down for the properties of equality are things that you've been talking about for a couple of years now. So if you could just jot this down real quick, maybe hit pause to check out exactly what all of these things mean. It's just basically saying the whole golden rule of algebra. Whatever you do to one side of a math problem, you have to do to the other side of the math problem. So that means whatever operation happens, you need to do the exact same thing to the other side. So you're going to use inverse operations, which is just the opposite operation. So I'm going to run through a few quick examples here. And then we'll just make sure that you understand that stuff. Are you ready to roll? Yeah, I didn't hear anybody, so I'm assuming that that means yes. All right, so here's how this works out. These are just simple one-step equations, and what we're going to do, maybe in years past you had a teacher who drew the line down the middle to show that there's a left side and a right side. The process is just to undo whatever's happening to the variable. In this case, the variable is h. So we're going to say that we are subtracting 12 from the h, which means that we're going to do the opposite of that, which would be to add 12. So we're going to add 12 to both sides, and that's going to give us a whole new math problem. So we're going to do that work. I'm going to get rid of this little part here. I went too far. A negative 12 and a positive 12 make a grand total of 0, so I just cross them off. And we're just going to bring down the h on the left-hand side. And then a negative 27 plus the 12 makes a negative 15. And then my answer for h is a negative 15. Now, the really cool part with solving equations is that you can go ahead and just take what you said h was and plug it back in to see if it works. So there's no reason why you should get any of these wrong unless you just make a computational error. So a negative 15 minus 12 makes a negative 27, and that's what it was supposed to equal, so we are happy because it actually works that way. All right, here's example number, letter B, number, letter. They're all the same thing here in algebra land. We have a C plus a 102. I'm going to draw that little line again. And to get C by itself, we're going to undo the plus 102 by subtracting 102. And that means we're going to, oopsies, I wrote down the wrong thing. Don't tell anybody. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the right side that we did to the left side. Now, I don't know off the top of my head what that is, so I'm going to have to actually write it down. So over here on the left side, I'm going to write down 102 and then minus 36. Because if you remember last year, our integer operation rules were, if we have two signs that are different, we're going to just be able to subtract those two. So let's see, I'm going to borrow, that makes a 0, I'm going to borrow, that makes a 9. All right, so we're at a 6 and a 6. So we're at 66. There were more negatives than positives, so that means that C is equal to a negative 66. And that would make sense because 102 and a negative 66 makes us have 36. All right, question number C. On this one, same exact rules apply, but there are different things going on here. So hopefully you remember some of the things that you did with fractions. We have a negative 1 3/8 k's is equal to 2/3. So the first thing I want to do, because I know that we're multiplying with a mixed number, is I'm going to change this mixed number into an improper fraction. So I'm going to do 4 times that negative 1 plus the 3. So I have a negative 11 over 8. K is equal to the 2/3 k. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the multiplying by a negative 11 eighths, and I'm going to divide by a negative 11 eighths. Now if I do that to both sides, the rule here, folks, is that when we divide by a fraction, we do that keep, change, flip. So if you remember from last year, keep, change, flip was when we have any division. So we're going to keep the first fraction, change that to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction. So the math problem that we're actually going to do is going to be 2/3 times a negative 8/11. Now I wrote this with parentheses because we can't have a times minus because that doesn't make much sense. So we got to prove that this is a negative number here. So then with multiplication we do top times top, bottom times bottom, and we get the beautiful fraction of 16/33, which is negative, and because we can't simplify that any further, it just stays 16, a negative 16 30/3. All right, last problem that I want to show you, and then we're asking you guys to do a couple on your own, and then we'll check them tomorrow when you show up to class. All right, so we're going to draw that line again, same process. We have the variable on the right side this time. So the happening to the variable is that we are multiplying by a negative 15. So we're going to undo the multiplying by dividing. So when we divide both sides by that negative 15, divide by a negative 15 to the left side too. So a negative 15 divided by a negative 15 makes a positive 1. So we have 1b left over on the right side. And a negative 75 divided by a negative 15 is 6. So then b is equal to 6. Now again, you can go back and check to make sure. 15 times 6 to make a negative 75, and you know for sure that you're doing things correctly. Now here's what's going to take place, folks. You're going to do these 3 problems on your own, and then we're going to check them when you show up to class tomorrow. So write them down, do your best, and this will be our way of finding out if you know how to do this stuff or if you don't know how to do this stuff. So check them out, write them down, do your best. It wouldn't make sense for you to leave them blank because we just got to try. Make an effort. So this is the Burmanation. This is how we do flipped classroom, folks. If you had any questions along the way, make sure you are not shy. Ask away when we start class tomorrow. All right, thanks, folks. This is the Burmanation. Signing off.